In India, most advice from relatives come from a good place. They are not trying to harm you. They care about you. They worry about your future. They want you to be safe and settled. So, before we go any further, let me be very clear about one thing. This video is not about blaming relatives. It is about understanding how career advice actually works and why careers today need a different approach. Many students and professionals feel pressurized because advice comes with emotion. When some older persons speak confidently, it feels risky to question them. You start thinking they have experience, they must know better. But experience without context can quietly become an outdated advice. In this video, I will calmly explain why taking advice from relatives can be risky, even when the advice is given with love. Let us first understand why relatives give advice with so much confidence. Most of the time, they are not guessing. Their advice is based on something real. It worked for them, or it worked for someone close to them. For example, an uncle who became an engineer will genuinely believe engineering is a safe path. A relative who cleared government exam will strongly recommend government jobs. Or someone whose child went abroad will highlight how life has changed completely after going abroad. So, what is missing here is not the intention. What is missing is the context. The world in which they succeeded had fewer options, slower change, and more predictable careers. Today, careers change much faster. Industries appear and disappear. Skills become outdated very quickly. Advice that once worked well can quietly stop working without anyone realizing it. Confidence in advice does not mean the advice is still relevant. There is another important problem with career advice from relatives. You mostly hear success stories. You hear about a cousin who cleared the exam. You hear about a neighbor's child who got placed in a good company. You hear about a person who went abroad and is doing well. But what you rarely hear about are the people for whom it did not work. The people who tried the same path and quietly failed. The ones who lost years for preparing exams without any results. And the ones who returned unhappy after spending a lot of money. This is called survivor bias. We see the winners and assume the path is safe. But careers are not lottery tickets. They require suitability, timing, and alignment, not just efforts. When we ignore the full picture, advice starts sounding much safer than it actually is. There is another uncomfortable truth about career advice that we rarely talk about. The person giving the advice does not live with the consequences of the advice. If a course does not suit you, you are the one who struggles. If a job drains you mentally, you are the one who wakes up every day feeling stuck. If years are spent preparing for an exam without any success, you are the one who pays the emotional and financial cost. However, the advice giver moves on with their life. This does not make them irresponsible or uncaring. It simply means that advice is easy when the cost is not yours. This is why career decisions cannot be outsourced. They have to be owned. You can listen to many opinions, but the responsibility of choosing must remain with you. Very often, career advice from relatives is mixed with emotional pressure. It is not presented as pressure, it is presented as logic. Statements like, "We are saying this for your own good," or "Everyone in the family agrees," or "Do not take unnecessary risks." These statements sound reasonable, right? But if you look closely, they are driven by fear, not by analysis. Fear of uncertainty, fear of social comparison, fear of having to explain a different choice to others. Careers that are chosen mainly to reduce fear often feel safe initially, but over the time they start feeling heavy, restrictive, or unfulfilling. Safety without alignment slowly turns into dissatisfaction. So, what should you do instead? Should you ignore the advice completely? The answer is no. If you say no, it creates an unnecessary conflict and emotional distance. A better approach is to separate concern from guidance. Respect the intention of relatives, but verify the advice. Ask yourself a few calm questions. Does this advice match my strengths? And is it relevant in today's job market? And does it suit my personality and risk tolerance? And would I still choose the path if nobody else is watching me? Choosing a career today needs structured thinking, not inherited opinions. Structure reduces the confusion. Structure reduces the regret. So finally, what I want to tell you is, advice can be useful. It can inform you. It can highlight risks you may not have considered. But advice should never decide for you. The right career choice is not the one that keeps everyone around you comfortable. It is the one you can live with calmly, confidently, and honestly. If you are pressurized right now, pause before deciding. Clarity comes from thinking, not from urgency. If this video has helped you to feel more grounded, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you are standing at an important career decision point, the details are in the description.